Hey, Hugh, you want to play Wolverine one more time?
Yeah, sure, Ryan.
Box office bomb.
Writers in Hollywood are on strike.
Superhero fatigue.
Jonathan Majors been dropped from all upcoming Marvel projects.
Desperate gimmick move.
Marvel needs to change.
I am Marvel Jesus.
I'd be lying if I said Deadpool and Wolverine is anything but awesome. I could not stop smiling the entire runtime, and every cool moment hits all the right signals in my superhero nerd brain. But I'd also be lying if I said that this was a great movie, or if I said that Deadpool was in fact Marvel Jesus. Captain America said it best.
There's only one God, man, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that.
Okay, disclaimer. Minor spoilers. Now hold on, let's get something straight. This is an amazing superhero movie. Amazing comic book movie, if you will. No, seriously, I wasn't lying when I said I did not stop smiling the entire time. But, as a movie in general, it's not the best. Let's look at the bad first, which is mainly story issues, and get that out of the way. The basic story follows Wade Wilson feeling depressed and inadequate after his breakup with his long-term girlfriend Vanessa, who is now dating some manager guy. Yeah, for some reason, this power couple breaks up off-screen in between the last movie and this one, which is a shame, because Vanessa was Deadpool's anchor and driving force that caused the events of the last two movies to happen. And now, for some reason, they're split to justify Wade Wilson feeling inadequate. The film's logic behind this crucial story point is kind of murky and explained in an untrustworthy flashback sequence, but from what I got out of it, Vanessa didn't feel like Wade was good enough for her, and or didn't like Wade's profession risking her life, which I guess the latter is fair, but the former, well, really?
Hey, we've been through a lot together. Cancer, pegging, your face being horribly, disgustingly deformed, but I'm not into you anymore. There's this guy at work and he has more subscribers than you.
I just don't buy it, because they stayed together through so much, and she seemed to truly love him for who he is. Anyway, through some wild events, Wade is confronted by the TVA, who offer him a chance to join the MCU, while his universe is said to die. Not willing to let his friends die with his universe, Deadpool must find a Wolverine variant to fix his timeline. Okay, so this didn't bother me so much, but it's worth pointing out that this film does have very lazy world building and exposition that drags on for a little too long. The logic behind anchor beings seems to be like an afterthought that was meant to be fleshed out later on, but humor took priority, which in my opinion, I'm okay with. I'm not trying to sit through 10 minutes of some annoying British dude explain why Wolverine is so crucial to the universe. I just want to watch Deadpool be Deadpool. But yeah, that being said, the premise isn't as strong as the previous films. Coincidentally, Deadpool travels across the multiverse and picks the Wolverine with the most issues, and the unlikely duo must work together to save the universe and prove themselves both to be adequate as heroes. Okay, so there's a lot I didn't mention, like who the film's antagonist is, because, well, she's kind of that forgettable and is the weakest part of the movie. Except for her powers, they were really cool, the effects were cool, but you're not exactly on the edge of your seat when Cassandra Nova shows up, and she's another afterthought with a shaky motivation. Like, for her whole life, she's been able to leave the void, and she's content. But now, because she was mildly inconvenienced by Deadpool and Wolverine, two strangers who she had no connection with, she wants to destroy the multiverse?
Well, that's just lazy writing.
Another thing I felt missing was the heart from Deadpool. His previous movies had a lot of serious moments that made Deadpool more than a merc with a mouth, but a merc with feelings, who used jokes to cover up something deeper. He doesn't have a lot of serious moments in this film. I don't think he even has one, which is a shame because I can admit that after a while, the jokes get tiresome. It also ignores the ensemble cast from the previous films, which gave Deadpool some serious moments. But to balance those issues, Wolverine takes the spotlight for sure and delivers the much needed heart. Lastly, this movie requires a lot of homework beforehand to even remotely understand everything going on. A lot of stuff like this is in the majority of the film, so I can understand why people wouldn't like it. A lot of jokes, cameos, references, or whatever bank heavily on the audience being ultra obsessed with Marvel or the actors' real life. And if you're in the know, then you're gonna love this movie like I did and geek out at all the cool cameos. But if you're just a casual fan or heard Deadpool was good so you want to go see it, you might not enjoy it as much. It's like the lamest Cool Kids Club ever.
Oh my gosh, it's Doodlebop from season 2, episode 74 of SpongeBob. I thought this was a Marvel movie.
On the flip side, if you're in the club, then this movie is fantastic. All the cameos were perfect homages to the respective films and cool nods to the hardcore fans. Some of the cameos were so outrageously outside of the realm of possibility in my mind that it kind of blew Spider-Man No Way Home out of the water. It did the multiverse better than Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness did. The Wolverine variants were everything you could ask for and more, and the Deadpool core was hilarious. It truly felt like a return to the fun mayhem of superheroes, especially the fight sequences, which gave a much needed style to an oversaturated element of superhero films. I feel like nowadays you kind of zone out when fights start happening, but this film has such interesting and fun sequences that you just wish they'd never end. Also, of course, the humor is great in a Deadpool fashion way, especially the self-aware jokes at the recent failure of Marvel projects.
I'm the Messiah.
And lastly, Wolverine. Yeah, he's the perfect balance to Deadpool and acted amazingly by Hugh Jackman, who brings the heart, charisma, and abs back to his role after hanging up the claws. It's also genuinely impressive how the film deals with Logan and how it gets you attached to this new Wolverine with a perfectly designed comic accurate suit. And yeah, again, the bromance between Deadpool and Wolverine is everything you could want, and the actors' chemistry is clear as day.
Stop it.
Deadpool and Wolverine is a much needed success for Marvel and the multiverse. So I didn't really get the joke when Deadpool said audiences are tired of the multiverse gimmick, because are we? I think we're tired of bad multiverse stories, because Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, No Way Home, and even Loki proved that if done well, this genre is amazing. And this movie proves that as well. But the future? Well, that's still not really secure. As much as Deadpool liked to say he's Marvel Jesus, he's really not. It'll take more than one great film to save Marvel, especially when the next few projects are... And Marvel also just announced Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to play Doctor Doom, which is cool, but like, why? And the previous directors who were said to make the next Avengers films are now replaced by the Russo brothers, which is also great, I guess. It's just a clear sign of desperation for Marvel and one last attempt to win back fan favor. And the RDJ pick seems like a complete misunderstanding of Doctor Doom. Rather than casting a different actor to play this ominous and iconic villain, they rather have the shock value of seeing an evil Iron Man variant instead of a completely different character. Sure, I get Iron Man was a version of Doctor Doom for a short run of the comics, but he wasn't the Doctor Doom, which should be the priority here. It's just an overall silly choice and shows that Marvel may not have it all together still. But I guess we'll see. I hope I'm wrong. Anyway, at the end of the day, I just hope that Deadpool, and with that, Wolverine, show up again in the MCU one way or another. And it'd be cool if Deadpool could make a cameo here and there. But Ryan Reynolds and the team behind Deadpool and Wolverine have proven that creativity triumphs. They made a love letter to both the Fox franchises and the fans alike, cherishing the audience that supports the brand and not antagonizing them. It's a great redemption story for certain characters and actors, full of laughs, and satisfyingly comes together to fulfill Deadpool's dream that's been set up since the beginning.
Look, eventually, you're gonna hang up the claws, and it's gonna make a lot of people very sad.
Huh?
But one day, your old pal Wade's gonna ask you to get back in the saddle again. And when he does, say yes.